just going to chill until the superintendent's report. I muted him because he wasn't muted. Just to start randomly. So if he doesn't unmute himself, I'll go up and unmute him myself. But he can just chill. Nothing else has to be on there because they're just going to speak. Cool.
One minute. Good afternoon. I'd like to take this opportunity to welcome you to the school board meeting this Tuesday, April 20th, 2021. The public is encouraged and welcome to address the school board at the hearing of citizens. If you wish to speak during the hearing of the citizens, please pick up a card at the back of the chambers, print your name and topic clearly, and return the card to our board assistant, Kathy Tompkins, and at the appropriate time, I will call you up to speak. Today, we have a flag salute from the Sarasota High JROTC. Please stand. Our student representative, Lily Sikorsky from Sarasota High, will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Order, the colors. Left, face. Forward. Forward.
Again, I'd like to thank the Sarasota High Junior ROTC. It's always interesting to watch, the different uniforms and the different students that are here with the flag salute and the different procedures that they have and the way they do it. It's always nice. Today, Lily Sikorsky from Sarasota High is our student representative. Welcome, Lily. It's nice for you to visit us as student representative. Please tell us a little bit more about yourself.
Hi, thanks for having me here today. My name is Lily Sikorsky, and I'm a senior at Sarasota High School. I am involved in the Cambridge ACE program and MAST Research Institute. I love math and science, and being engaged in MAST, I've had the opportunity to do college-level research on microplastics and bivalves throughout my high school experience. Next month, I will also be presenting my work at the International Science and Engineering Fair. I am part of the National Honor Society, Key Club, La Sarasota, Student Government, Secretary, and Science National Honor Society. I have also been captain of the girls golf team the last 4 years, and I will be continuing my education at the University of Florida this fall and majoring in engineering.
Miss Goodwin, would you please refrain from making those gator motions? Could you tell us a little bit about the civility character squad trait for April and how it means to you?
Yeah, so this month's civility squad character trait is keep your cool, take a pause, take a breath, and wait till there's no anger left. This year has presented some unique challenges. All students and teachers have definitely shown taking a pause and a breath to get used to many things, from remote online learning to wearing a mask all day in school. When problems arise, it is always best to stay calm, redress the situation, and think before acting and speaking. This will help keep many issues under control. I am so thankful for our teachers and faculty this year to continue keeping their cool and helping the class of 2021 and others succeed in this challenging year.
Thank you very much. I think those are words we can all live by. Thank you so much. Special presentations.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Today's presentations will begin with Steve Cantis and Susie DeBose recognizing the American Heart Association.
Mic is on. Can you hear me? Superintendent, board members, Mr. Dugan, Ms. Sikorsky, I'm very pleased to kick off today's meeting with the Moment of Pride, the special presentation. As you know, we've had a long-standing collaborative relationship with American Heart. I personally have been involved in CPR with them for I don't know how many years, but the district has absolutely been instrumental in increasing the community rate of response during cardiac arrest because we train all of our staff, our 8th graders, and our seniors, so they're getting it twice. And these people are out in our community helping to save lives. So big program I'm particularly fond of, but they're also very involved in employee wellness with Erin Singerman, our coordinator. Lots of programs, resources. They just did the National Wear Red Day, which was a big hit. I have quite the collection of red shirts. But today, we're talking about one of the the student programs, the Kids Heart Challenge, and some phenomenal students and staff and what they've done down in South County. We've got our principal from Inglewood here, and we're gonna give them lots of praise and thanks. But before I do that, and I don't wanna mix up the title, I've known Emily Cooper for a couple of years now. She's the market director for Southwest Florida American Heart and Stroke, and she's going to introduce these phenomenal students and staff. Thanks for being with us today, Emily.
Yes, thank you for having me. So I just want to say on the behalf of the American Heart and Stroke Association, thank you for allowing us this time to congratulate some of our top students in our top school here in Sarasota County. We couldn't do the things that we get to do each year without the support of our families in Sarasota and our staff. Throughout the partnership with the American Heart Association, we've been able to give Sarasota County over $100,000 in CPR kits over the course of our partnership to help train your students and staff in life-saving CPR. We've also been able to give thousands of dollars back to the PE programs for elementary and middle schools so they can purchase new PE equipment. And we have been able to help our staff and students learn heart-healthy information, which is very important to all of us. So first things first, I wanted to present an award to the top students from last school year because they raised together over $3,000 for the American Heart Association, and we kind of got cut short with COVID last year, and I want to congratulate them because they did such an amazing job. And they are Ryan McCulley and Callie McCulley. So if you guys want to stand up and everybody give you guys a round of applause.
Could you try to speak into the microphone? We didn't hear their names.
Sorry, this is Ryan McCauley and Callie. And Callie raised $1,534 for the American Heart Association. And Ryan raised $1,504 for the American Heart Association. Emma Booker and Fruitville Elementary, and I think next year they might be moving over to Fruitville together, but these two did an amazing job, and they are everything we hope for kids learning about their heart, and I hope you guys continue your partnership with the American Heart Association. So thank you so much. Okay, and then this year we had a little bit of a challenging year with some of our schools because everything was changing, and I came into this school year not expecting, a lot of schools to participate with our program like they normally do. But out of Sarasota County, we have had such great response, and the biggest excitement from this school year that I'm taking away is what happened at Englewood Elementary. Englewood raised around $8,000 last year, which is incredible. And this year they raised $17,900. So absolutely amazing. And we have Mr. Mark Rosenbacher, who's the principal there, and Mr. Dan Cole, the PE teacher. So I wanted to give you guys your awards if you want to come on up here. Perfect. So this is for the school, so you can put this in the front office or wherever you want, and that's the plaque, and one for each of you guys.
Thank you.
Just to remember the Kids Heart Challenge. And I don't know if you guys want to say anything about your experience with the program this year or anything, but we just really appreciate all of the hard work. Mr. Cole has quite a load of, he hands out these little heart heroes. The kids collect. Each heart hero keychain has a special message, whether to be healthy, drink water, and the kids go crazy over these heart heroes. So he has to pass them out for a couple weeks. And if you want to say, yeah.
I will just mention one thing, and that is that on Friday we are having our slime party, and I would say that probably 75% of the students at our school are taking part because they help to raise money for the Heart Association. So Mr. Grosselbacher and I and our vice principal are all going to be the subject of a lot of slime. So well worth it, well worth it.
Yeah. Thank you. So thank you guys so much for all of your hard work. And thank you to Sarasota County.
Jane Goodwin?
Well, I just want to say one small statement about Mark Grossenbacher. I've known him over the years, and he has a sparkle. That's what I say about you, Mark. I don't know if you've ever heard that, but I could say, lots of things. But he sparkles, and he has meant so much to the Englewood community and to the parents and to the students in that community. Mark will be leaving to go to a new middle school, Woodland Middle School in Northport next year, which I expect he'll sparkle there as well. But, the hearts of the parents and the students are broken because you'll be leaving after 11 years of wondrous things. And I participated in a few of them and just think that it's wonderful. This exemplifies the kinds of things that Englewood Elementary is known to do. And Englewood Elementary is a great elementary school. And I just want to say thank you to all of you, but especially to Mark, because he's meant so much to that community. And we'll be following you to Northport. But thank you very, very much, and congratulations to all of you that were involved in this wonderful heart project. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, I remember when we were considering closing Englewood Elementary because of the declining enrollment. And you came and you turned that around, and I'm so glad we didn't. But speaking of sparkle, I've got to point out Miss DeBose. She doesn't bring her own sparkle, but she also has worked with the health department, helping to get all of our employees vaccinated. And she's just been putting in extra time working on those weekends doing that, and working with our staff on the COVID issues, but still working on all these other ways to help us stay healthy too. I know COVID has taken up so much of our time this year, but I'm glad that you still keep yourself focused, and thank you for the sparkle you bring to the job too.
Oh, thank you.
Now you have Steve with some athletic.
Yes, our next presentation is to recognize several of our student athletes, and Mr. Cantis will lead us in that presentation.
So good afternoon, everybody. First of all, Mark, congratulations. That's an amazing accomplishment. I don't know how you raise $17,000 for any project, so I'm looking forward to you working over to Woodland Middle School and raising that kind of money. But I know you've done an amazing job at Englewood, so thank you for that. Also, before we get started, I just want to say to Lily Sikorsky, what an amazing student you are. Heard wonderful things from you from Miss Anderson. She's here representing Sarasota High. Thank you for being here, Miss Anderson. So thank you for everything you're doing at Sarasota High School. We appreciate you being here tonight. So Mr. Slayton could not be here tonight, so I offered to step in for him for this wonderful recognition. First of all, we have a student, as we come here together today to recognize an accomplishment of a student from Northport High School. She's a weightlifter, and her name is Madison Atwood. She won the state championship in weightlifting in her class, so we'll hear more about that in a moment. You can hold your applause for now. And then we have the Riverview High School girls soccer team, who actually won the academic state championship in the state of Florida for their class this year. They had, of the team, you're going to hear, I don't want to steal all the thunder for Rod and Jay from Riverview High School, but I do want to say that they had 10 of their 25 girls that play soccer with a 4.0 GPA. So I think with brains, a lot of times brains will lead to winning, and so that's amazing. Yeah. before we bring them up and bring the school personnel up, I'd just like to thank Dr. Aspen. I'd like to thank the school board members for taking the time to recognize all of our students. We have many academic representations. We also have many athletic representations, and we excel in both athletics and academics here in Sarasota County. We're very proud of that. The community expects that, and we intend to continue to do so. So we're here today to recognize a combination of both athletics as well as the academics that goes with the athletics. So student athletes will truly be represented today. Athletics provides an opportunity for our young men and our young women to develop positive characteristics that may not otherwise be developed. Many times students are in school because of athletics. We like to say that athletics is not life, just a tool we use to teach many of the principles that we expect students to exhibit in life. First of all, we're going to start with, we have Northport High School Principal Brandon Johnson, but I want to thank him. I want to thank Mr. Crestly, one of the APs at Northport, and also Tony Miller, their athletic director. Mr. Johnson is here to present the award, so can you come on up, Mr. Johnson?
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. No one's smiling. Everyone should be happy right now. Madison, can you come on up? So we have Madison Atwood, girls weightlifting champion from our school. I know Madison knows this, but I don't think you guys are aware. She is the first female state champion in Northport High School history. Wow. And what I found most interesting, Madison, which I know you don't know this, she bench pressed, of course, 195 pounds. I can bench press 160. So you can even do more than I can. And in the clean and jerk, if I'm not mistaken, you clean and jerk 220 pounds as well. I'm about 130. So Madison is not only a phenomenal athlete, but also a phenomenal student. We are incredibly proud of her. It's something to be said and to be the first of something. And so you should be incredibly proud of that. You will live forever in Northport. And we know after you graduate, you'll actually be in our Hall of Fame as well. So I wanted to share that with you today. So guys, please give a round of applause to Madison Atwood. Our first female state champion in Northport High School history, Madison. Congratulations.
Okay. I won't share how much I can lift because I promise you Madison can outlift anything I can put up there. So next we'll talk about Riverview High School. I first of all want to recognize Ms. Del Castillo, the principal at Riverview. She's here today. Thank you for being here, Ms. Del Castillo. We also have Jay Lorenz, who is an assistant principal, and we have Rod Dragus, the athletic director. They're going to come up tonight and today, and they're going to present the awards to their soccer team, to the girls' soccer team.
All right, thank you, Mr. Canties. Thank you, Dr. Asplin. Thank you, board members, for having us. This is a huge award that we won, the academic team champion. And of 25 girls on the team, we have an average of 3.873 GPA. So the best in the state of Florida, and that's one of the best accomplishments we can have. Now, we talk about student athletes, we talk about multiple student athletes, meaning we have Allie, our first Riverview High female football player who played football, played soccer for us, still playing club. We have Amelia who played lacrosse, who was a district runner-up. And all these girls, they just don't do one sport, they do multiple sports. So that's a huge accomplishment for them. I'd like to call up our two amazing coaches, Stacey Monroe and Edgar Marquez, and we'll call up the girls. Yeah, you want to read it through?
I will, thanks everyone for having us over. This is it's a very special day. First time I'm ever, in something like this, and I feel very, lucky and and proud to be part of this. I'm not surprised, by just by knowing the girls, being their coach for a good 4 months out of the year. I know how dedicated and how responsible they all are. It just, like I say, doesn't surprise me because they work really hard and they're very committed. Their dedication, it's definitely paying off. So I just want to thank everyone for for all the support, for giving me the opportunity to be here. Coach Stacy and I, we just here trying to do what we like to do. She supports me a lot, and we're very, 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 very proud, basically, of of the girls and parents. Thank you very much for your support as well. This is a lot of you. This is a lot for you too. That's it. Stacey, I think we're gonna call out the girls.
Samantha Bickle, Carmela Cadolfino, Mary Beth D'Amico, Mira Dempsey, Alyssa Gonzatano, Christy Giannopoulos, Barbara Ann Harper, Sana Hildebrand, Caitlin J. DeVea, Jane Kitchener, Allison Kakanza, Ashley Lamb, Sonia Legree, Annabelle Littlejohn, Amelia Melkin, Caden Mangle, Mia Ortlieb, Mia Ray, Georgia Ross, Ava Rudd, Emily Selberg, Taylor Simone, Samantha Summerlin, and Majestic Van Ingen.
Thank you.
Zoe's problem again. Make sure you keep your mask on. Yes. We'll get that. I came from the States, right?
It's like a soccer picture. It's just like a soccer picture.
Come on in, some of you have to kneel.
Yeah.
Zoe's like hilarious.
Just the soccer picture.
Neglected to say one name, Zoe Sakalarius.
Everybody scoot in real close.
Congratulations, girls. All about quality, not quantity. Congratulations, good job, really good job.
And parents, if you want a copy of that, you can go to SarasotaCountySchools.net and check our board meeting. You can get a clip of the meeting. Steve, are we doing the Venice girls soccer?
No, that's going to be at another time.
At another time, okay. Superintendent's report.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Madam Chair. Appreciate that. Wanted to start off just letting everyone know about the regional town hall meetings. As you know, we had two so far, one in Northport at Northport High School and one at Venice High School. And the goal there was to have folks come from either as teachers, parents, community members, to voice their successes, concerns, challenges of each region of our school district. And I thought those two town hall meetings went very, very well. There was some great information that we retrieved from everyone, and we will utilize that as we create our strategic plan for next year. We have a couple other town hall meetings that are going to take place very, very soon. One is tomorrow, April 21st. That one will be at Booker High School. And then another one at Riverview High School on April 28th. And so I would encourage anyone in those regions to attend those town hall meetings to give us your input. Also, we plan to have a community town hall meeting for the same reason, and that will be, well, we're not sure where that will be yet, but we believe that will be the second week of May. We're working on that right now to secure a venue for that. But that will be open more to our community members, foundation members, the selection committee members, those of you who aren't necessarily in a particular region or with a particular school, but district-wide, business leaders and so on and so forth. So we will keep you updated as far as where that will be and when. But we're really looking forward to the next 3 town hall meetings. Registration for next year, just want to remind all parents and encourage you to begin registering first-time students as well as re-registering your existing student for the upcoming school year. Also, Florida Prepaid Scholarships opportunity. Through our partnership with Florida Prepaid, 4 Sarasota County Public School students, 2 from K-5 and 2 12th grade students have the opportunity to be awarded $1,000 scholarships toward their post-secondary education. Applications are due by April 30th, and you can find more information on our website. The 2021 Math ACES is a test sponsored by the American Society for Civil Engineers, and it's developed and managed by the State College of Florida. It's comprised of topics and concepts from Algebra 2 through Calculus, and is offered to select high school seniors in Manatee and Sarasota counties who are enrolled in or have taken calculus. And I'd like to congratulate the following students from Sarasota County. Jalen Gentile from Booker High School, Ethan Yeomans from Northport High School, Kyle Pearson of Riverview High School, Kyle Smith of Suncoast Polytech High School, Aiden Beachy of Venice High, and Tyson Swihart from the Sarasota Military Academy. Congratulations to those students. Also, families, don't forget to please create a portal account in our system. Families are strongly encouraged to create a portal account if they haven't done so already. This is our way of really communicating with you and for you to communicate with us and pay attention to your students' attendance, assignments, report cards, and so on. So please create a portal account in our system if you haven't already as a family and as a parent. We'd appreciate that. Today, during our board workshop, we talked about the mask policy, and if you weren't on Zoom to watch that or listen to that today, we did talk about our policy that actually sunsets on June the 30th. And after our discussion regarding masks, we decided that, that policy will stay in place and sunset on June 30th as it was meant to be. And then we'll have future discussions as to where we go from there at that particular point. The thought is that we obviously would like to have masks as an optional item for our students going into next school year. And then as we watch the percentage of spread from the COVID situation, we'll make that determination later. But right now, our mask policy does sunset on June 30th. We have every intention of doing that. And then hopefully we'll be able to move more into an optional situation. But like I said, we will see what the spread looks like at that time. On, let's see, April 23rd, just a few items that are coming up in case people would like to go to these events. On April 23rd, Northport VPA Spring Dance Concert is happening. On Saturday, April 24th, Booker High School VPA has a musical called Kingdom of Solitaire. And on April 29th, a couple of items. Cranberry Elementary will have its Academic Olympics, which is funded by the Ed Foundation. And Inglewood Elementary will have the show choir's annual competition in Orlando, which actually has been canceled in Orlando due to COVID, but the students will still perform locally at Northport High School Performing Arts Center on April 29th at 6 o'clock. So I'd encourage you to attend those areas. Okay, so one last item that I wanted to mention was, as I think everyone knows, we participated in district accreditation, and the team was here a couple of months ago. And in the past, we've been accredited by certain schools, but this time we were going for a district accreditation. And I think we have on the line, we have Dr. Edlo Barker, who was the lead team member for the accreditation during their visit. And I wanted to welcome him. And Dr. Barker, are you there?
I am here, yes, Dr. Asplund.
Yes, Dr. Barker, thank you for joining us today. I really do appreciate it. I was hoping that since we received the report just the other day on accreditation, I know that it's still going to be probably another 4 to 6 weeks before we are giving the official accreditation. But I wanted you to share with our board, if you would, for just a few minutes, as far as what accreditation is, what it means, and what you found while you were here in Sarasota County, if you would, sir.
Would be glad to. Can you tell me, are you seeing my screen?
Yes, we see your screen.
Okay, perfect. Mrs. Brown, Dr. Asplund, good afternoon. I'm pleased to be able to visit with you. I wish I was there in person. The weather there is much nicer than it is here in Virginia, I'm sure. As Dr. Asplund explained, we were there the 4th week of February, 5 team members representing Cognia to investigate, check, research, interview, and so forth to verify your qualifications for district accreditation. In the past, as you know, you have been accredited at the high school level, but district accreditation goes beyond that. It looks at instructional programs. It looks at your support programs. It looks at your operations, your governance, overall to build capacity, help build capacity, and most importantly, to stimulate and improve long-range effectiveness. Engagement team, we were very lucky to be able to impanel myself with 4 other educators that I know and have worked with several times, all from the state of Florida, highly experienced, highly professional, and they did a great job working with me. The role of the team was quite simple. We would normally come to Sarasota. We came to you virtually. We came to interview stakeholders. We interviewed students. I'll go over that group with you in a minute. We looked at documentation that had been provided for us on your website in the Cognia workspace, and we also visited the Florida Department of Education website for their files as well. After the interviews and researching the documents, then we spent hours and hours and a few more hours each afternoon deciding what we saw, what it meant, and developing consensus on rating some 31 standards of accreditation for districts. Following that, we have a report that we've submitted, was going through the editing process still, but hopefully it will provide feedback that will make sense and help you as you continue on your journey of continuous improvement. I mentioned we interviewed. We did interview. We interviewed a total of 225 stakeholders in and outside of the district. By design, we wanted to interview 4 representatives from each school, all principals. A teacher, a student, a parent was our target. In some cases, we We interviewed a fifth at one school because of a vacancy or an absence at another school. But quite a good representation and with lots of opinions. We have lots of opinions that were shared with us. And because of that number, we want to thank the district for providing the logistics. Since we're Zooming, all of our meetings being virtual, it took quite a bit of help from your technology staff to get us at the right place at the right time. We have some general findings. These are what I would call the takeaways that our team took after 3 days of visiting, but hours and hours of research before. This is what we understand is the personality, if you will, of your district. And remember, this is based on 3 days of virtual visits, lots of interviews, and lots of documentation. But I think some of these will sound familiar. I hope they will. First of all, we noted a family atmosphere, both at the district office, in the schools, and in the homes. We visited with parents from their homes. Elementary principal spoke about how they feel connected with parents. Middle school principal spoke about the continuity of community spirit and feeling throughout the school. Teachers, one teacher said, I feel like my school is my home away from home. I'm sure the spouse and children there would agree. Students had adjectives like, it's happy place, it's a fun place, it's a fair place, but all agreed they miss their friends. They are ready for this COVID pandemic restriction to be beyond us. And very importantly, at every level, the students told us that, yes, we know, we feel we have an adult at every school, at my school, where I could go to if I'm in trouble, if I feel sad, if I am in distress. I feel like there's an adult that I could go to. Very important these days. Another personality trait of the district, highly successful. No surprise to you. Highly successful. The teachers and students talked about high expectations. They have to perform. They understand that. It's an A district based on your state of Florida test scores. Congratulations on that. Your graduation rate, your retention of staff. Parents spoke, and this is real important, I think. They spoke and said that they feel like their students were prepared. Preparing students for after high school is an important responsibility of our schools as well. We feel like your schools are very successful. Parent and community support. We talked to a lot of parents. Before that, we were made aware of the tax-based referendum that was just being passed when we were there. Your collaboration with the local arts associations in the community, we heard from teachers about that. The number of volunteer hours that parents spoke of. And one parent was outspoken saying, I've missed being at my school during the pandemic. Parent surveys also entered a great level of parent satisfaction. Professional and motivated staff. That's another personality trait that we picked up in just 3 days. Teachers, when interviewing, we wrote down a couple of quotes. Every moment with the kids counts. Every child, every day. We are expected to know our students. We're expected to know their needs. One veteran teacher, when talking about the impact or what they learned through COVID or their reaction to COVID, was commenting that I was impressed with how resilient the kids are, but also how resilient my fellow teachers were with change after change after change. Excited students. You have some excited students. I know sometimes they can be tiresome, but high school students were excited and shared with us they liked the idea of the number of choices, the number of options, the number of pathways that are available to them at the school. Middle school students appreciated the feedback from their teachers. They got the answer or they got self-correction right away. Elementary students indicated that my school cares about me. Very important. Generally, the students that we interviewed all said they felt successful and they love the projects that they're assigned. They love the open-ended problem solving that they enjoy. Lastly, the leadership teams, both at the district level and at the school building levels that we interviewed. In general, everybody was collaborative, open, visible, available. One elementary principal said, I can call anybody at the district office at any time and not fear that I sound silly or incompetent with my question for basic information. We found the principals to be hardworking, focused, and engaged, particularly this past year or so with the constant changes during the pandemic. Customer service throughout the district. We had principal after principal speak to us saying, I feel like I am in the loop. That doesn't always happen. In addition to the personality, we had 4 areas of what we call key findings. These are major themes that we are writing about in the report. A couple very positive and a couple areas we are recommending for some further action. First of all, the positive relationships that we experienced and we learned about while in the district. And this was in part of the ratings that came out in the team discussions. Your focus on social emotional learning and readiness for learning, particularly at the elementary level. You've got to work with children where they are, even at the middle and high school levels, we know that. Your collaborative meetings, your partnerships with the community agencies, such as mental health, Big Brother, Big Sister, peer counseling, all key factors in working with our students, working the other collaborative meetings and so forth, talking about the positive relations among staff members. Another very strong theme that we noticed, your strategic resource management throughout the district. Your fiscal responsibility, long-range forecasting and long-range planning. It's hard to plan for years ahead without a strong forecasting tool. Your emphasis or your practice of keeping a positive fund balance all yield what I describe as you're being a good steward of your taxpayer dollars. An area we want to recommend for some continued focus, because I know you're aware of it and I know you've been working on it, but we did notice achievement gap. This is student performance. Achievement gaps between subgroups of students. We saw excellent performances of individual students in all subgroups, but on average, some subgroups are not competing evenly with others. The target is to have all subgroups performing closer and closer and closer. I know you've got goals, I know you've got strategies in place. We urge you to continue because we all need to support every child. The last area of recommendation, the second area and the last of these major themes, is your strategic plan. Cognia believes strongly in continuous improvement. We know that you have a strong process in place, but it was incomplete when we were there, so we had to mention it. Hopefully this will be even more support for the culmination of that plan. To us, it's the focus for the district. It's a roadmap to continued success. Cognia believes strongly that it needs to include specific targets, measures, specific goals. How will you know when you achieve a goal unless there are some specifics there for you to measure? And of course, the engagement of all stakeholders in the creation of the plan. Those were our major findings. What's coming next? The report was turned in on schedule. The editors at Cognia have approximately 30 business days, and that's about now, to make any edits or request clarification on any. The report, when it comes in, should give you clear ratings, clear evidence, and so forth, and identify the discussions that we had. By the way, when that report was written, it did carry with it a recommendation for full accreditation for the entire Sarasota County district. And again, we want to thank you for the services that you're providing the students. We loved talking with some of your students and the hopeful parents that are supporting those students. Also, thank you for the district, for the completeness, the support that we felt during the review, and for the several months leading up to the review. And lastly, for your focus on continuous improvement, never, ever being satisfied just with opening the door, ringing the bell, and having school. Dr. Asplund, that is a recap of our review.
All right, well, thank you very much, Dr. Barker. I really appreciate it. And yes, any questions?
Mr. Barker, this is Mrs. Brown. You said, we need to work on the achievement gap, and I just think, that's something everybody talks about. Are there any districts that you can point to that are successful in closing that achievement gap?
Right here, right now, this afternoon, me sitting in my basement in Richmond, Virginia, I would be hard pressed to give you an answer to that, but I will follow up through Dr. Asplund and see if I can find a couple of districts in Florida that would be able to exhibit how they, a better level of attention to those gaps, closer achievement between subgroups. That's a very legitimate question, and one of the benefits, I believe, as a former district administrator, of being networking through Cognia with other school districts. We see what you've done. How about sharing a couple secrets with us? So I'll follow up with Dr. Asplund as soon as I can determine a couple districts that may be able to help us in that regard.
Well, yeah, thank you. I'd like to be the example of a district that has been able to close that, and you can use us in the future. Ms. Ziegler has a question.
I don't have a question. I do have a comment. I just I appreciate the overview. I just would be remiss, and I don't want to not thank Dr. Carol K. Brown for this massive undertaking. It has been multiple years. And I don't know how much, I know we all know that in this room, but I don't know that the community knows it. And I know that this was something that was presented to you, but you took it and you ran with it. And I'm just incredibly appreciative. So thank you very much. I wanted to make sure you were recognized for all your hard work.
Yes, thank you very much. Dr. Barker, I do appreciate the hard work from you and your team, and thank you for joining us today. We do appreciate that.
Absolutely.
And Madam Chair, just one other item. I know that quite a few folks, parents, teachers, others around our school district have asked about next year. And just to say what we're hoping for, we're hoping to not have concurrent teaching next year. We're hoping to get back to a normal school year face-to-face and have another option, which would be our virtual school, which we've always had. So those are our intentions. And again, we will have to see how things go over the next few months. But I did want to let everybody know what our intentions are, because I know everyone's planning for next year. So with that, thank you very much.
Okay, next on the agenda, we have the hearing of citizens. The speaker will have 3 minutes to speak. The timer flashes yellow, 1 minute remains, and you'll need to summarize. I have just one card today, and I'm sure we all understand that we must be civil and listen politely and respectfully. Ashley Cote.
Can I take this off since we did that last time, if that's okay, so I can talk clearly? Okay. I listened while I was at work to the masks, and I just wanted to say this is something that I've been asking for a while now, is your procedures on the masks. How are you implementing it? I asked Dr. Asplund this just last week, and he said you guys were going to hopefully touch on it today, and you did not. So going towards mini breaks, it states teachers may allow students to have mini breaks for 5 minutes or less. How many? Who's enforcing this? Who's doing this? Because I've already had to have a discussion with my principal at my son's school, and she has said she's letting she's doing what this policy states, but she's letting her teachers decide how they want to enforce things and do things. We've had sub PE teachers that will not let my child take his mask off. How are you enforcing this? These are problems. With regard to meal times, it was stated today that at lunch they're supposed to be allowed to take their masks off. As soon as they're done eating, they have to put their masks back on, even sitting behind that shield. How are you implementing this? How are you taking care of this? By each school, each teacher, each lunchroom, lunch staff. How are you taking care of it? You're not. And what I've asked is, I will gladly dedicate my time. I've already been dedicating my time for other things. I will gladly help you formulate a policy to enforce to the district because they're looking for leadership from you. The principals are saying, we're doing what the board tells us. What are you telling them? A mask break of 5 minutes. What does that mean? I don't know. Is that 10? I mean, my son, unfortunately, because I'm a single full-time mom and I don't have shared custody or anything, I am it. I have to work. My son is at before care and after care. That is how long? Hours and hours. And he gets maybe 1, maybe 2 breaks a day. Maybe. I see you all struggling up here. I mean, I watched everybody's mask has been below their nose. And my 8-year-old is having to dictate what he's supposed to do. I understand if masks have to be in place. I get it. We need to just appease the majority, and that's fine. But please fix your procedures. Shields. You're going to take away shields. Now they're not going to have a mask break. You guys just said that. Don't you dare take that shield away if you are not going to honor your mask breaks for my child and other children. They are struggling. They hate it. I understand it's probably saving lives, and that's fine. Everybody's entitled to their own beliefs, just like it is not anybody's business who's an anti-vaxxer or not. Please, please, please do a procedure.
Thank you. Additions or corrections to the agenda?
There is one revision to the agenda. An addendum was added to item 9, the instructional classified personnel report.
Can I have a motion on the agenda as amended?
I move for approval of the consent agenda as amended.
Second.
Please vote.
Mine's not coming up. I'm not. I get back to computer. Sorry.
The vote isn't coming up correctly. Let's have a voice vote. All in favor, say aye.
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 Nay, say, opposed, nay. The vote, the agenda passes 5-0. Are there any comments? Bridget, Ms. Ziegler?
The board member with few words. I know we ran out of time for board comments at the workshop, but I appreciate the conversation we had at the workshop. But I wanted to ask, I know that I brought this up before and we were waiting for the audit, the external audit to be done, but on our next workshop, can we have an update on our audit committee and what our timeline is or where we're at? Looking over it, because I know Mrs. Goodwin is.
We don't have an update on that at all right now. I've asked our CRI to give us an update, and I will get that out as soon as possible.
Okay, so, I'm sorry, so where are we right now?
We're nowhere in terms of anything that our audit committee would do. We're still working with CRI, and they're still working in construction services. Mrs. Corcoran, do you have an update?
Okay. I don't have any framework, so.
We'll also put that on information for future board meetings.
No, it's fine.
Till we get one.
So actually, Mrs. Goodwin had recently asked me where we are and how we stand, and I told her I hadn't heard anything from the auditor. So I sent him an email yesterday, and he emailed back and said we're in the process of wrapping up the field work and are looking to be done by the end of next week with the testing phase. And at that point, then they'll move on to vetting and reporting. So they're not even to the point where they have a report to present to the audit committee. Okay. So that's kind of where we're at right now.
Okay, and that's on multiple, there's
just on construction.
Do we have more than, we can
We're
wait
just doing one department at a time, and this is
doing
first.
Okay,
one audit at a time. And so they're only working on construction right now.
So that was the first phase. Okay,
Yes.
that's what I had no framework and knowledge.
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Jane, did you have something? Dr. Asplund?
Yes, I just wanted to be clear on the workshop today that the mask policy will continue to be in place until it sunsets on the 30th of June. And within that mask policy includes the shields piece. So the shields piece is still in place with the masks, and that whole policy is intact until it sunsets on June 30th. I just want to make sure everyone's complete understanding of that.
Yes, if I remember, Michael from the health department was telling us that he felt that the shields probably could come down now, but because of the mask breaks and whatnot, and the complications involved, we decided to just keep it, and it's going to sunset on June 30th. The infection rate right now was 6.8%, which caused some of us a little bit of heartburn, and we weren't ready yet to set a policy to reenact any policy for masks mandatory at this time. But if conditions change, we will be addressing that in the future at a workshop.
Yes. And I believe also in the policy it does when it talks about mask breaks, and I'm glad that Ms. Cody came forward with her information, and we'll talk to you in just a second about that, Ms. Cody, to get that information. But I know in the policy it does say that mask breaks may be taken. And so when you use the word may, that does leave it up to the principals and teachers at the schools. And so that's the way it is written in the policy. And I will talk to you, Ms. Cody, on the side just to make sure I understand what the issue is at your particular school. And if we need to talk to any other principals about that, we certainly will, to make sure we're as clear as possible.
With no further discussion, we stand adjourned. Oh, wait, the next workshop and board meeting will be on Tuesday, May 4th.